Hi, you've clicked onto a video on Hurricane Otis. We're going to focus on this tonight. It feels weird to be talking about yet another incredible rapid intensification event within the past day. Last night we're talking about Hamoon. Now we're looking at Otis, as this has been a extremely impressive rapid intensification event. And I'm just going to start this off by reading the National Hurricane Center discussion, as this is so terrifying to watch unfold along the coastline of Mexico. This is their discussion. A nightmare scenario is unfolding for southern Mexico this evening, with rapidly intensifying Otis approaching the coastline. Satellite images show that Otis has continued to intensify, with Dvorak data T numbers estimated between 130 and 145 knots during the past few hours. The initial wind speed is set at 140 knots, that's about 160 miles per hour, as a blend of these values, making Otis a Category 5 hurricane. Otis has explosively intensified 95 knots, that's about 110 miles per hour, during the past 24 hours, a mark only exceeded in modern times by Hurricane Patricia back in 2015. And if you don't know Patricia, that was a 215 mile per hour Category 5 hurricane. It was, I believe, the strongest hurricane recorded in the National Hurricane Center area of responsibility on record. And this system is intensified so much, it's on par, at least somewhat, with Patricia. And unfortunately here, with it being a Category 5 off the coastline, the storm is looking to be one of the strongest, if not the strongest, landfall along the coastline of Mexico in recorded history. The strongest storm, I believe, to make landfall in Mexico on the Pacific side was Patricia in 2015, and that was about 150 miles per hour. And you can see here in their discussion, Otis should maintain Category 5 status before the hurricane makes landfall near Acapulco area overnight or early on Wednesday. And that's a really bad area for the system to make landfall, because Acapulco is a very highly populated region, especially along this coastline. The unfortunate part of this coastline here, with a strong hurricane approaching it, is this is more populated than other regions of Mexico. And if you look at the population map from NASA, you can see, I believe this is Acapulco on the map, and there is a significant dark region here on the map indicating there's a lot of population here. This is based off of 2015 data, so it's likely that this is much more than this map actually shows. And this is truly what they said, a nightmare scenario, because now, the forecast last night was have maybe a high-end tropical storm, maybe a Category 1 hurricane come in, yet here we are, and it's a Cat 5. Now, you might ask, okay, how did we get here? How did the forecast fail so badly at predicting this rapid intensification? This is sort of a scenario that is very difficult for models to catch on to. If you look overall at the size of Otis, it is small overall. And smaller features alone are difficult for models to pick up on. But also, there was a more unexpected, I suppose, in some ways, jet interaction taking place. There is a jet here over northern Mexico, and I can show you this on the 200 millibar flow from the GFS. And what's happened today is this jet has been actually placed optimally to support Otis at least a little bit. And you can see in the 200 millibar wind plot, all of this outflow from the tropical cyclone, this is now moving to meet with this entrance region. The entrance region being the spot where this area of winds aloft increases in acceleration, where it starts to accelerate away. And you can see, if I look at the divergence plot here, we have still, I believe I showed this earlier today, we still have this large bubble of divergence right over the storm, but now we have this little region here of increased divergence here over Mexico, and this is that jet helping the system just a little bit. Alongside that, sea surface temperatures have not really been touched in this region of the world, in the Pacific, really all season. And there were some signs last night that this could occur, but of course rapid intensification is something that is still not really fully known or fully understood. And I think this is a good example of just that we don't fully understand rapid intensification yet. It is a great mystery, and we certainly need more research on this so we can get our intensification, or intensity forecast rather, more more accurate in these cases, and we hopefully can get rid of, the possibility of something like this happening again, where it's a surprise Category 5 hurricane. But of course, that's for the future. Focusing on now, this is going to be a very, very significant threat to Mexico. It's not even a threat. This will be a very, very significant storm for Mexico. The header from the National Hurricane Center, and I'll show you it here, is catastrophic damage likely wherever the core makes landfall. This is absolutely true. If you have winds of 160 miles per hour, that's going to cause catastrophic damage no matter what. And of course, something important that I should mention, it's 160 miles per hour now. Don't get caught into the exact wind speed. If it goes to 165, 175, or even if it goes down to say 150 or 155, don't get too caught in those numbers. Even if you still have the system coming in at 150 miles per hour, this could still be catastrophic. And we're looking at potentially catastrophic storm surge here that could be several feet, potentially several meters along the coastline. And alongside that, and the winds from the Category 5 hurricane, we're looking at very significant rainfall here that could potentially exceed 400 millimeters, about 15 inches, especially near and along the coastline as the system makes landfall. Reason being, this is a very mountainous region of the world, and any tropical cyclone, even a tropical storm coming in here, can dump a ton of rain. But of course, when you have a hurricane coming in, especially Category 5, that's very strong, and it has a lot more strong bands of convection, and those can wring out more moisture, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say there, especially when you get towards the higher mountainous terrain. And you can see this is a forecast from the half-say model. The legend is on the right, but these colors, the reds are getting towards about 10 inches, and yellows are about, I'd say, 10 to 15 inches, generally around that 200 to 400 millimeter range. Now I'm going to pull up the National Hurricane Center forecast cone. You can see their forecast here. It's not really, very good to look at, as the system is going to be coming in pretty quickly, anticipating very quickly. But you can see that general landfall spot around Acapulco. Now there is, and they did mention this in their discussion, there is potential for wobbles here. It may come a little bit up the coast from Acapulco. I'd say out of the scenarios here, that could be the best case scenario for Acapulco, as you would get into the offshore flow of the hurricane. But of course, that puts more areas further east into the Category 5 wind field. And I'd say the worst case scenario, hopefully we don't go there, we've already been there so much with the storm, is a system coming west of Acapulco, because then you maximize the storm surge into it. But either way, I don't see that we get out of this without having a catastrophic event unfolding here in Mexico. Now, this is a plot from Tomerberg on Twitter. I'll leave his Twitter in the description. And you can see this is from last night. So this was about last night, and these were the model runs by then. This is one reason why we didn't see a forecast from the National Hurricane Center being too high. All of the intensity guidance was just so weak on this. They were not even forecasting a hurricane here. No model was last night. And you can see the best track here. Just an insane rapid intensification event there. I'm still in shock from just how fast this has intensified. And you can see here's a HAFS model. This model has tried to catch up. It's done fairly well trying to catch up. It has gotten some recon data. And you can see it coming in there with, again, that hurricane force wind field. Very small, but that will be able to push so much water into the coastline once it comes in. So for everyone ahead of the storm, stay safe. I hope that things don't turn out nearly as bad as things are looking here. But unfortunately, we've got a nightmare scenario unfolding here in Mexico as the system comes towards the coastline. I'll have another video out later today. Yeah, I'm talking UTC time here. It'll be tomorrow local time. We probably won't talk about Otis too much, at least in terms of active, system stuff, as the system will be weakened quite significantly by then, as we're expecting landfall tonight or early tomorrow morning. If I can, and maybe if it hasn't made landfall, I'll try and get a video out in the morning. But again, stay safe ahead of the storm, and we'll hope that things turn out to be not nearly as bad as forecast here from the storm. Truly an incredible event, but that's it for now. Thanks for watching.